Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca-Jade Gibson and today I'm going to be answering some questions sent to me by Musical Biz, so I hope that these things will help you guys. What age did you know you wanted to perform? I've always wanted to initially perform on television, because when I was younger, when I was like 8, I would watch Disney Channel all the time, watch shows such as Lizzie McGuire and That's So Raven, and I would watch them and sit there and think, I want to be on TV, I want to be doing these things, I want to do what they are doing. And it wasn't until I was 11 or 12, when I went to London for the first time with my school to go see Billy Elliot, that I thought, oh my god, singing and dancing and acting on stage, this is all so magical, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So yeah, I've kind of wanted to perform for a really long time now. What challenge would you like to do? I have set the challenge of myself to be a star on Broadway and star in the West End, so I think that's like the challenge for a lot of performers, to make it big in the West End and make it big on Broadway. What genre role do you like the best and why? I like the roles that have a more emotional background to them, such as the roles like Eponine and Elphaba. Not the character roles that go around making people laugh all the time like Blunder and the Thénardiers in Les Mis, but the ones that can make you just cry because what they're doing is just so emotional and so fantastic that it's just so powerful for you. Those are the type of roles I like to do, or that I think are the best. Who's your inspiration? My inspiration for a long time that I've actually only just realised properly is Pink, the singer, and that's because a lot of her music I feel can directly be related to me, and you know, her music influences a lot of other people as well. But relating to kind of theatrical terms, I'd say my inspiration is Leah Michele and Idina Menzel. Both of those women, they have done stage productions, they've done film, they've done TV things, and I look at those two ladies and I think to myself, I want to be like you when I make it eventually. Do you still get nervous going on stage? That depends really, because I am very confident in myself with acting, but when it comes to singing, I'm not so confident. So if I'm just acting, I can waltz across the stage with ease and not be nervous at all. But when it comes to singing, it does take me a few minutes to kind of calm myself and think, okay, I need to do this, I need to calm down. So I still get those butterflies in my stomach for singing and dancing as well. Favourite role you have played? Before I came to uni, I was at a theatre company and we did this thing for National Theatre Connections, and the play that we did was called Alice by Heart, so it was based on Alice in Wonderland, and the role I played was Queen of Hearts, and the musical itself was just beautiful. The people who wrote the music were the people who wrote Spring Awakening, and to have a mix of those writers and the story together, it was just fantastic and beautiful. And I have a Mad Hatter poster in my bedroom, so Alice in Wonderland is a big, big thing for me. I love Alice in Wonderland so much, so yeah, playing the Queen of Hearts was probably my most favourite role. Worst role you have played? I don't believe there's any worst or bad roles. I'm a firm believer of there's no small roles, only small actors. So I can't think of any role that I've ever played that can be defined as the worst role. If you couldn't perform, what would you do? See, I'm one of those people that will actually turn around and admit that if I couldn't perform, I wouldn't know what to do with my life, but I know there are several things that I can do. So I think the most likely things that I would do, that if I couldn't perform, I would probably either teach, or because I work in a pub at the minute, I would do something based around that. I'd probably try and get higher in the ranking of working in the food industry type thing and become a manager at a pub thing. What would you recommend aspiring actors and actresses to do? If you know from a young age that you definitely have your heart set on being an actor, I would say get yourself into a theatre company, a youth theatre company, and if you want to be a musical theatre performer, then take singing lessons, go to dance classes, especially from a young age, because it wasn't until I went to college, or I left school and started going to college, that I actually joined a youth theatre company, had singing teachers, and joined dance classes. It wasn't until then that I realised properly that I had people supporting me to do what I wanted to do. So yeah, I started off really late with everything, so I would highly recommend starting everything early. If you definitely know that you want to do, then go for it. Just go for it. And don't give up as well. A big advice or big thing to say to people is just not to give up and keep your hopes high, and just surround yourself with positive people, because that's what's going to get you far, I think, is what's going to keep you going. Do you feel there is an area in your work that you need to improve on, and why? I'm more of a singer and an actor, and I'm getting better at dancing, but I say that the area in my work that I need to improve on is my confidence, because there are times where I very struggle with keeping confident. But I know it's a bad thing and everything to say that I want to be a performer and I struggle with confidence, but it's just from past experiences, but it's something that I as an individual need to work on. What have you learned from different people you have worked with? From my past experiences, I have learned that if you're going to get anywhere in this industry, you need to be nice to each other, you need to be encouraging to each other, and don't go around saying things like, "You're never going to make it in this industry, you're not good enough for this part," and because it doesn't get you anything. All it does is make you come across as a horrible person, and people aren't going to want to work with you. Because you could be for a small production, you could be working with somebody, but someone in that small production could go on to being a big actor or a director or an agent, and they'll look at you and think, well, if you're a horrible person, I'm not going to want to work with you, and I'm going to tell other people not to work with you either. Keep the connections. Don't be horrible to anyone, because it'll come and backfire on you. What is your biggest achievement? I think my biggest achievement to this date is getting into my part-time drama school. But my part-time drama school is called EDSA, Emile Dell's Performing Arts School, and I go there every Saturday, and we learn how to dance, sing, act. They have a big showcase term where they perform big musical theatre numbers with professionals. It's amazing. And to actually have been accepted onto that school, out of all the people who had auditioned that day, I find that to be one of my biggest achievements. What's the hardest part about being an actor? For me personally, the hardest part about being an actor is to keep the faith that you're going to get another job, because there's so many people out there wanting to be an actor and not enough roles for everybody to be one. So the hardest part is finding a role and keeping everything together and keeping your hopes high and believing in yourself. Because there are so many days where I turn around and think, what's the point? But then I turn around and then I think to myself, I actually love this too much to give it up. How easy do you find it to learn lines? I personally quite find it easy to learn lines, but people find different ways to learn lines. If I've got a big monologue, I break it up into different sections, and I learn each section off by heart before I move on to a different section. I can read it about 10 times over, get it implanted in my brain, read it out loud, and then if I've got it set down, then I start on to the next section and then add it onto each other. That's my method of learning lines. Would you ever set up a workshop and teach others and aspiring actors and give advice? I think if I get to a place in my life where I am actually capable to give sound advice to people, like at the minute I don't think I'd be able to give good advice because I'm not in the industry properly, but when I get into the industry and have been in big productions, then I reckon I could be at a suitable place to set up workshops and teach people and give them advice. I would definitely do it because it's so helpful. I've been to a few workshops before, and I've had professionals say to me, you need to do this, you need to remember all these things, and it is just so helpful for the future. Is it difficult being in the acting industry? Yes, to be honest, because you need to find jobs in between your acting jobs. Like at the minute I'm working as a waitress at a pub, and that's just to kind of keep money coming in, and other people do that as well. Like you see it on the musical theatre documentary that was on around Christmas last year. The people that were on there, one of the guys, he had been working at places like Debenhams and other places for months before he got his big role. And that's probably one of the most difficult things about being in the industry, is just trying to find what to do in between jobs, really. What school did you train at? I am currently going into my 3rd year at university at Anglia Ruskin in Cambridge, and I'm studying performing arts. And even though it's not a drama school, I've also got my part-time drama school, EDSA, that I go to as well, which is helpful. And throughout most of my time, I've also gone to part-time dance classes and youth theatre companies and singing lessons as well. And since I'm going into my 3rd year of uni, I've decided that I'm going to apply for postgraduate courses at drama school. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get something out of that. Is there anything you still find hard? If yes, how do you overcome this? I find difficult, to be honest, as I say, that I need to improve on the keeping confidence in myself. Like, I know that I'm good at acting and I know that I'm getting better at dancing. For me, personally, it's reassuring myself that I am a good singer And what you need to do if you have any doubts about yourself, I think, is kind of work on it. Just kind of go around to people and ask for feedback, possibly. Like, I've done it so many times. I've asked people if they can just stand there and listen to me sing and give me feedback, and it's a lot more helpful than just thinking to yourself, no, I'm terrible at this, I'm just going to give it up now. So the way I overcome my singing issues is I grab people and say to them, listen to me sing for you for a few minutes, and it helps. It really does help. What's your dream role? Alphabet! And also Fontaine from Les Mis. Oh, and Molly from Ghost! Would you rather make a movie or be in the theatre? My heart belongs to the theatre, but I would love to be in a movie. And I'd love to be in TV as well. I want to do all of it, to be honest. When you were training, did you have second thoughts or setbacks? Mostly this year, I've had times where I've looked at myself and thought, do I really want to be here? Am I good enough? Because there are so many people on my course that are just fantastic singers and dancers and actors, and I felt a bit inferior compared to a lot of them. But you need to kind of look past that and focus on yourself. You need to stop focusing on what other people are doing, because they're not going to be focusing on you. They're going to be focusing on themselves and trying to get themselves forward. So the best thing to do for yourself is to focus on yourself and do what's best for you. And that's kind of like what I did when I was going through my rough patch of this year while I was at uni. How much support did you have? When I was younger, because of the fact that I was really quiet and I didn't necessarily give off any indication that I wanted to be an actor, even though there would be probably little signs, because I would run around with my siblings and make little scenes up with them just to kind of play out and everything. Same with my friends. And my family probably gathered something from that, but it wasn't until, as I say, that I left school and went to college and chose the modules that I wanted to do at college that I decided, or showed them properly, that I wanted to be an actor. And I went to a summer school when I finished school. I did a West End stage summer school, and I think that was probably the first indication to them properly that sunk into their minds and said to themselves, yeah, Becca wants to do this, she wants to be an actor. And ever since then, they've been fully supportive of me. They keep saying to me all the time, we can't wait to see you on the stage. So yeah, I think I've got quite a lot of nice support. Like, I've got my family back at home, and now at the minute I've got my friends from uni, which is really nice, it's good. So those are all the questions from Musical Biz. I hope that they have been beneficial to you in any way. So yeah, good luck with the future, guys, and just keep at it, keep positive, because that's the most important thing you can do. Don't give up at all.